But Sky Guardian, yes. Let us read from another passage of the Vachanamrut. This is a wonderful series of passages. Spiritual discourses from a figure at the turn of the 19th century known as Bhagwan Swaminarayan. He founded many spiritual lineages, one of them being BAPS, from where we get this version of the Vachanamrut. It happens to be the same organization that Pramukh Swami was once a part of. These are books sent to us by Sky Guardian, as he grew up in these organizations, and there's a lot of spiritual truths in here that I think are universal. Here we are reading from Gadhada 153, Progress and Regress. On Mahavadhi the 9th, Samvat 1876, or the 8th of February, 1820, Sriji Maharaj, Swaminarayan, who was sitting facing west on a large decorated cot on the veranda outside the west-facing rooms in front of the mandir, the temple of Sri Vasudev Narayan, in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhada. Got that? Now repeat it back to me. Just kidding. He was wearing a white surval and a white angarku. He had also tied a rich orange shailu with a brocaded perhaps, border around his waist. He had also tied a rich orange ureto. Did I read this? No, it's a new sentence. He had also tied a rich orange ureto with a brocaded border around his head. Tassels of flowers were dangling from his pug. He was also wearing garlands of flowers around his neck. At the same time, an assembly of all the munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Good job, Tatvamasi. Yes. Sriji Maharaj then requested, "Someone please ask a question." That's how I feel when we have stretches where no one is talking. You know, that awkward silence. Someone just ask a question. I'm sure it wasn't like that, though. Thereupon Muktanand Swami asked, "There are those in the satsang fellowship," satsang being an assembly of spiritual seekers, "who progress day by day. There are also those who, despite being in satsang, seem to regress day by day. What is the reason for this?" Dr. Jenny, you share the pronunciation is brocade. Thank you. I guess it is a type of decoration around the border. Makes sense to me. I appreciate that. Yeah, some people, even though they're in a spiritual community, they might get more and more angry, so it seems, as time progresses. More materialistic or selfish or impatient with one another. All these qualities of the world are arising within them. But other people, they seem to get more and more selfless, patient, compassionate, loving, understanding. What is the reason for this? Or caught in their own righteousness? That is a big challenge for all of us, definitely. Especially when we see how much we are improving, and yet the potential is there for others. Is it our duty to point out what is virtuous in ourselves to help others? Sometimes this can be a challenging thing for the ego, definitely. Sriji Maharaj explained, "A person who perceives flaws in a great sadhu, a monk, gradually regresses in satsang, in association of true. Conversely, a person who perceives virtues in that sadhu progresses, and their bhakti, their loving devotion towards source, energy, God, also flourishes. Therefore, one should not perceive flaws in a sadhu, in a monk, or more generally a spiritual seeker. Instead, one should only perceive their virtues. One should find flaw in that sadhu only if they infringe upon the disciplines of any of the 5 religious vows. However, if the sadhu has no flaws in their observance of those disciplines, yet on seeing some peculiarity in the sadhu's nature, if one feels that it is improper and thereby focuses only on their flaws, ignoring their many virtues, then one's own noble virtues of jnana, vairagya, etc. diminish. These are knowledge and dispassion towards worldly things. Therefore, only if there is a discrepancy in the observance of religious vows should one find flaws. One should not find flaws in a devotee for any other trivial reason. Moreover, if one does not find flaws, one's noble virtues will begin to flourish day by day. I like that. It's a very simple one. What we see in others, we take on, and what we see in ourselves, we can work on. So, when there is awareness of some defect, let that be from within. How can I work on this myself? Even if someone else reminds us of it. Similarly, when someone else embodies a great virtue, even if they have other defects, how can I learn from that virtue in particular and aspire? Then we can all be building each other up rather than taking each other down. Progress. Simple. Thank you for listening, everyone. Nice little interim. And hello, Tommy. I know that this is something I definitely have to work on. Looking for the merits in others rather than their demerits. Because otherwise I get overwhelmed with all the negativity. And then my mind becomes filled with that same kind of negativity in another way. I mean, it would be a beautiful world if I could see the virtues in everyone and then reflect on the demerits within myself and work on those. I think that is a surefire way to spiritual liberation